in the newsletter, I put in there that there would be okay. So in the newsletter, I put in a little note about the Save the Bees Foundation, Help Save the Bees. And they had a booth out at the Lazy Five Park, and it was last Wednesday night, I believe August 4th, and there was a band. Well, anyway, so I didn't see the parade, but I did see people walking around in bee-striped long knee socks and little funny antenna on their head. And they had a pretty nice booth set up, and they were, talking to people about saving the bees and making Reno a bee-friendly city, kind of like Carson City is. And I don't know, they had some T-shirts for sale and stuff like that. And then they had a raffle. And the raffle was kind of after the band, and band was great. It was a jazz band. And Felipe, they actually did a Brazilian song in Portuguese, which is very cool. So anyway, I didn't see anybody else there. But then I just kind of went and sat down in the grass and didn't walk around. Let's see. So that was one of the items in the newsletter. Randy, our treasurer, is traveling, and he sent me the treasurer's report for the meeting update. So currently the club has $6,899.93 available. And we did have some expenses. I know that Pam submitted a receipt for some repairs on one of our extractors, and she bought some the new frames for, I don't know, exhibits or something. Oh, there she is. She's showing one of them.
It's they are what they call teaching or educational frames. There's a queen in her court. They say there's 20 different pictures on a deep frame and in a box, and they're all labeled. So if anyone gets around to doing any kind of educational or teaching things, these are available to be checked out. The repair on the oldest extractor has been done. That was the handle on it. Stefan got it installed for me. So we now have 2 functional extractors with that. And I think it was in last month's newsletter that we bought a refractor also, a refractometer, so you can tell how much of the water content is in your honey. And at this point in time, I don't see any more expenses unless somebody wants to bring up something that they think the club should have on a borrowing list. So that's it.
Okay.
Pam?
What?
Yeah.
Have you, I'm sure that they're, after everything started spiking again, they're definitely not opening up the library, but do you know if they may be opening it up for?
Last I heard, I checked in it probably about 2 weeks ago, and everything still, as far as meeting rooms, were closed down. With the spike, I kind of suspect that they probably aren't going to be opening them, but I will keep looking. And if it does come to be that we can open before we end our season, I'll definitely look into that.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay.
Pam, I know we reserved the picnic for next month. Has the state park issued any further mandates about mask wearing in large groups at their facility, or?
I have not gotten anything through email, but I think I could go on the website or even call the guy that I talked to before about that in regards to that. I've been getting emails from different things for like my camping and stuff, but nothing from the state park as far as our picnic yet. But I'll check on that, and if there is some big change, we'll make sure that everybody knows about it.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, and that date again is September 18th.
Yes. The other thing and we talked about at the last meeting in regards to the picnic is try to get some kind of a numbers on how many people will be there so that we don't overbuy or underbuy for as far as the things that the club is going to do. Is that something that is accessible through our webs or Facebook or website or whatever?
Yeah, I'll create a link for I can't think of what it's called now, brain fart. But I'll create a link and put it out through email and Facebook that they can just click on and say whether or not they're going to attend.
Oh, that'd be great. That would be good.
Okay, well, I know I'm coming. I don't want to miss the baklava. Because Pam, you already said that that would be your contribution to the potluck there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes, it will be
Okay,
there.
yeah.
It will be there.
Great. Okay.
Do we have a group of people that are going to go shopping? I'm willing to volunteer to go.
I'm willing to go shopping also, but with mobility issues, I'd have to have someone else do all the lifting and keep it at their house or something. But, you know, as far as what needs to be picked up, I'm willing to go with you or whoever else wants to be involved.
Okay. Well, then I'll ping you and we can set a date.
Okay, that sounds great.
If you guys need a hand, I'm happy to help too with that.
Okay, good.
Okay, so I think the big thing that's going on right now is extraction. You know, getting ready to bottle some honey, spinning out honey and you know, running it through our sieves and putting it in bottles. So has anybody actually started yet?
We did mid-June.
Nobody's speaking up.
Oh,
Ah,
Stefan,
okay.
Stefan and Hugh and my son pulled and extracted in mid-June and we did well. So we'll see what we can get toward the end of the season, see what the girls are doing. Although I sure have noticed that they are not flying much with this smoke. I've got a lot of clover in my grass and those girls have not been out on it like they usually do or on the oregano or anything else.
Okay. I kind of noticed the same. They're not really going in and out much and, you know, I'm not really seeing the pollen coming in and it's like, I don't know, maybe they're just going out and collecting some water to stay cool. But yeah, not a lot of activity. But I do have 10 frames off of several hives that I pulled, you know, just pulled that were finished out of the supers. So they're, you know, just the medium frames. But I haven't got to extracting yet, but I've got a full box of them sitting there. And my mite load is looking really good. You know, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, we had one we checked. We were at 7 mites. We did a month of hop garden. It was down to 2. So, of course, we
Okay.
also had 6 hives in the apiary go totally queenless with the hop guard on at the same time. So, I'm
Mm.
not sure it's a good idea.
Yeah.
So quick question on that. For treatment right now, is HopGuard pretty much the only option, or Apivar, is that a possibility if you removed your honey supers?
Hop guard's good with honey on and isn't real temperature sensitive, which is why we used it.
It is temperature sensitive, or it is?
It's a little bit, but not like the others. They say if it's going to be over 92, add more ventilation. So we blocked up, the top cover on the hives with, a couple of popsicle sticks thick so bees couldn't get through, but we got more airflow through.
Okay, thank you.
If you're going to be doing, if you're going to be pulling your honey anyways, you might want to try something like Apivar after you pull the honey, because it is a little more effective than the HopGuard. And don't get me wrong, I use HopGuard all the time, but if you're going to be putting a treatment on, you might want to pull your honey and just do something that, because it's in there for so long, it has a really good kill of the mites. So. That's my 2
Yeah,
cents.
our honey won't come off until fall because of all the alfalfa around the hives. They're just bringing it in, even with the smoke, they're bringing it in. So, if we pulled all the supers off, they'd be wanting to leave. They'd go honey bound in no time.
Yeah, I went down Veterans Parkway this morning and looked over and saw all the hives out there, just near the dairy barn there that you've got, Dan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we made 3 more little nooks
So that
last weekend too. Give us a few extra queens just in case, because our students, being brand new beekeepers, tend to be hard on queens.
Okay, so Nettie, I haven't heard you talking yet. How are your bees doing?
They're really agitated. I've been having to give them sugar water, especially the ones out in Chilkoot, because most of their food was either burned or has been eaten by the deer that have been coming in. So I'm feeding them, and the ones here at my house, I'm feeding them too, because they're not traveling in this smoke.
Yeah, I imagine the smoke is really bad up there. Chilkoot.
Yeah, you need to take a knife to cut your way out.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, they're surviving.
Always a bonus.
And they were a bonus because they were a wild hive that came into my yard in June.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
Very nice. Yeah, we're feeding 2 of the hives in our yard, but we had some honey that wasn't up to, or wasn't down dry enough. It was about 20%. So rather than trying to bottle it and keep it from fermenting, she put it back in the feeder to feed back to them and get them dried out some more.
and it's always good to catch a wild swarm, just to keep the genetics diversified.
Yeah, they're a little aggressive, but I'm kind of happy about that. We're keeping all the hornets away.
Yeah, the wasps have been out in force the last couple of weeks too.
I've been walking around my backyard with my fly swatter. And, you know, if I don't get at least 10 to 15 out in a 15-minute cruise, I think I've thinned them out too much.
We don't get that many in our yard, but we had a whole bunch
Yeah,
out in the
they,
apiary the other day.
Yeah, out there near all that alpha. Good spots to get some nest in the ground.
Hmm.
Okay, and Jason, how are your bees doing?
Well, my bees are brand new this year. So they're just, I'm building up my brood boxes. I'm not putting a super on this year since it's our first year doing it, but they're doing okay. I mean, they're doing good out there. We check them once a week just to make sure everything looks good. You know, since we're new at it, we're still learning so much, but it looks all cool.
Okay.
It's so fascinating.
All right. I think you mentioned you had some out in Red Rock area.
Well, we're out in northern Spanish Springs.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
North Valley's there. Yeah. All right.
Are you having to feed your bees a lot out there?
I do have a feeder in there. I've just kept it in there. Just from the get-go I started and I haven't taken it out. They're using it. So I'm just leaving it in there. I mean, we've got plenty of flowers around, but yeah, with all the smoke and everything, I figured just leave it in there. If they weren't using it, yeah, I would take it out, but
Awesome.
yeah.
I've been using my neighbor's hummingbird feeder as a gauge, so she hasn't reported any bees there. So I'm pretty sure my bees are getting stuff. They're bringing in stuff, busy. And yeah, I'm going to be pulling off supers this weekend. My flow hive is full. It's actually been a good year for my bees.
Great. Okay, well, I can't think of much else to talk about then. And besides, I'm starting to get a little hungry.
Oh, well, got to solve that problem. And once again, the invite's
That's
open. If
right.
any of you want to come out and see what we do, you're welcome. Just shoot me an email or something and we'll sort out a time. Jim's been out to visit.
Awesome.
Yeah, I want to check out the video link that you posted.
Yeah, please do. They did a nice job on it. They did a nice whole story.
Maybe we should take a field trip.
We should.
Yeah. We're out there every Saturday, which is why we miss the picnic every year, because we're out there with the students. I can't very well tell them, oh, well, too bad.
Right. We have to have a picnic at your place.
There's not much shade out there in the apiary. You know, we're out on the University Ag Farm. They never heard of shade. So
Right.
trying to figure out how we could do that, because I think the bees would do a little better with some afternoon shade, particularly
Mhm.
July and August.
Yeah, if anybody knows any like new beekeepers that wants to get started with bees and are potentially looking like they want to get it started this year, I am not opposed to getting rid of some of my hives. I have a few hives that are chew deeps, and I'm willing to sell them with equipment and everything. So I kind of develop an anaphylactic reaction to bee stings. So
Uh-oh.
I'm kind of little bit I gotta get rid of some of my hives in my backyard because it makes it hard to use my backyard when I have a whole bunch of bees.
Yeah, send me an
Find
email.
out.
I'll send it out to our students. I think some of them were looking to try to get some bees before next year.
Okay, I'll send you that.
See if I can actually type here.
And that would be great because like you say, you've got double deeps. They've already got the brood chambers set. You've got the equipment, it's like basically they have a hive that is already set and ready to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just put my email address in the chat. So yeah, send me info and I'll send it out. We send out an email to our students every Wednesday. So I'll be happy to put that in.
Thank you.
You bet.
Well, Philippe, I'm sorry to hear that you've developed the anaphylactic issue there where the stings are so intense there. I'm still at the point of getting stung every week or so, and it hurts like hell. It's like, and as soon as I get stung, then I put on a pair of those blue latex gloves. I went down to Harbor Freight and bought the box of, and
Mm-hmm.
I even got stung through one of those,
Yep.
but Stefan, as you point out, you just kind of pull the glove up, it stretches up, and the stinger stays on the glove. You just have to make sure you don't snap it back down on yourself.
No,
Yeah.
I'm having to wear like leather gloves and everything like that. My doctor said that I shouldn't be around bees. It's like that's kind of hard.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to do some like venom therapy. I guess there's some stuff like that, and we'll see. But that might take a year before it even takes effect.
Wow.
Yeah, that's no fun at all.
Where I can do one sting. So I'm not gonna get rid of it completely. I'm not gonna stop completely beekeeping, but I need to like take it a little bit a notch down. The more hives you have, the high probability of you getting stung.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you want the gentlest bees you can find too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was humorous watching you nod your head there, Stefan. The more hives you have, the more likely. Yeah.
Yeah, I get stung periodically. Usually when you pick the frame up and roll your finger under that ear on the end,
Yep.
get stung in the finger right along your fingernail. Those hurt. And you can't drop the frame.
Nope.
Right. Yeah. So the stinger stays in longer than it normally would, because
Yes. Because you got to find a place to put that frame down safe first.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You can always fling the frame and then you don't have to worry about it.
That'd be the one that had my queen on it, though, just by guaranteed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you're not a beekeeper if you haven't dropped one frame.
I never dropped one frame. I just dropped multiple frames.
There you go.
I just dropped the entire hive.
I had a student
Twice.
drop an entire box, a 6-frame styrofoam nook. He dropped one box.
Yeah, I've done that
He
twice.
felt terrible. There were piles of bees on the ground, so he was scooping them up barehanded to put them back in.
Yeah. They go back into the hive. They follow the scent.
Oh, they would, but he was scooping them up. He got, I don't know, probably a half dozen stings.
Oh, no.
Builds character.
Yeah, I felt kind of bad for him, but
One thing I just thought of that Randy had mentioned is that they are starting to see bears already because of all the fires. So if you live in a bear area, you might want to set your fence up or electrify it or, whatnot. So.
Yeah. So particularly if you're on the west side of town.
Yeah. So.
I think we're done. Everybody's kind of wound down.
I
No,
think so.
I'm-
I think we covered all the stuff. We don't have, any fairs or, I don't know, Earth Days to talk about, because that's still kind of on hold. Though I did get out into parking lots of Atlantis and GSR this past week and weekend to cruise up and down and look at all the hot August night cars.
That should have been nice.
Another thing that I love besides bees.
Love the old cars. Almost much like the old airplanes. Speaking of which, we're going to be running a booth for Rah-Rah at the air races this year. And we're looking for volunteers to help man it. If you do a half-day shift, you get a pass for the day. If you do 3 half-day shifts, you get a pass for the week. So if anybody's interested, shoot me an email. We're looking for volunteers. I'd like to pass it on to, local people that support us before we open it up farther than that.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you do at the booth?
We sell Reno Air Race merchandise
Hmm.
for the Reno Air Race Association. So t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, whatever. It's a retail booth. It'll be in one of the hangars down in the pits that's out by where the Checkered Flag Club is. So not only do you get the pass, but working that booth, you also get a pit pass. So if you like to go out and look at the airplanes up close, you get the chance to do that.
Cool.
So if you're interested, let me know. We got to get people signed up for that pretty quick.
I live right over here in Cold Springs, right over the hill.
I mean, you get to hear it whether you want to or not.
Yes, yes. I wave to them as they fly over my house.
Okay.
All right, everybody.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking too. Short meeting this month. Mainly because August is one of those months where not much is happening,
Mm-hmm.
Bees are just kind of hanging in there. Next month, we'll talk about the picnic. Just to kind of nail that down, make sure everybody's all set for that. And we'll start talking about things you can do to winterize, even though October is probably the biggest winterization month that we have, because Reno doesn't get cold right away. But next month we should start planning for it. All right. Thanks for joining, everybody. Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Bye.
Link for the
Everybody.
picnic will be coming out here probably within half an hour.
Sweet.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank
and then
you.
Stefan, you're gonna send an email to club members about your queen cells.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Bye.
All right. Good night,
Bye.
everybody.
Good night.
Bye.